Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today I want to dive into Chloe Bailey's new album and discuss some troubling news about Kanye West. But before we get into that, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Now, let's get into it. Chloe recently released her second album, Trouble in Paradise, and I have to say, I'm really enjoying it. This is an album I can easily listen to from start to finish. It feels like a continuation of her previous album, In Pieces. In her debut album, she was clearly heartbroken, and the sound was a bit all over the place. While I appreciated her experimentation with different sounds, it felt somewhat scattered. However, with Trouble in Paradise, everything seems more cohesive, especially in terms of the theme. This album feels like a post-heartbreak journey. She's still dealing with the aftermath of the heartbreak, but she's also starting to move on. She's not drowning in her pain as much as before. There's a sense of freedom and lightheartedness, and she's clearly more expressive about her sexuality. You can hear all of this throughout the album, though there's still a hint of sadness related to her past relationship, showing that she's still coping. But overall, I really like the concept of the album. Some of the singles I enjoyed include Boy Bye and FYS. I also really like Temporarily Single. Favorite, featuring Anderson .Paak, is another standout track. It's fun and lively. Nice Girls Finish Last was cool too, but the track that really stood out to me was Want Me, featuring Halle Bailey. I played that song over and over. The lyrics are relatable, talking about wanting someone who doesn't want you while ignoring the person who does. Halle absolutely nailed it, and I can't wait for her to release her own album. Chloe and Halle together are just perfect. I also liked Same Lingerie. For some reason, it reminds me of the R&B music from the 2010s, the kind of songs you'd hear from artists like K. Michelle or Tamar Braxton. There are a few tracks on the album that give off that classic R&B vibe, with Chloe pouring out her emotions. And of course, she was really singing on this album, but that's nothing new. Chloe always brings it vocally. I also appreciated the up-tempo tracks like I Like Boy Bye. Favorite, with Anderson .Paak, is definitely a standout for me. Strawberry Lemonade is another cute track, and Shake featuring Jeremy is super catchy. She even added some Caribbean-inspired songs like Never Let You Go, featuring YG Marley, which is pretty cool. And then there's Redemption. I just wish Redemption was longer. It felt too short, but I love the variety she included on this album. The track Might As Well with Ty Dolla $ign was dope too. To me, it's a better version of Cheat Back, a much better version. Overall, I'm very satisfied with this album. It's a solid R&B project, and Chloe should be proud of herself. I really hope this album performs better than her previous one because she definitely deserves it. It's unfortunate that this album didn't receive the promotion it truly deserved. I'm not sure what's happening with record labels these days. Chloe is signed to Parkwood, with Columbia Records as her parent label, responsible for funding and promoting her music. However, it seems clear that Columbia isn't fully invested in her success. I can tell. On the bright side, she's still able to release music, which is a positive thing. Plus, she has an impressive touring history, so she can easily hit the road and earn from her performances, ensuring she's always profitable in that aspect. However, I really wish the label had given this album more attention. Despite this, I have a strong feeling that people will eventually catch on, and the album will grow organically over time. Moving on, I want to discuss a disturbing story involving Kanye West. It's been alleged that Kanye is addicted to nitrous oxide, also known as laughing gas. His addiction has reportedly spiraled out of control to the point where he could face severe brain damage and potentially pass away within 5 years. There's an accusation against his dentist, Thomas P. Conley, who is alleged to be the one supplying Kanye with this nitrous oxide. This situation sounds eerily familiar, doesn't it? It reminds me of what happened with Michael Jackson when his doctor, Conrad Murray, provided him with propofol, leading to a cardiac arrest that ultimately ended his life. I wouldn't be surprised if Kanye faces a similar fate because he's angered powerful figures, and they might be looking for a way to take him down without it being too obvious. In my opinion, if they can get him addicted to something that makes him lose his mind and possibly sign away his rights, it would be ideal for them. They could then watch him decline and eventually profit off of him posthumously. This seems to be a pattern with many great artists. Right when they start to fade, the industry decides they'd be more profitable dead than alive. So they orchestrate their downfall. It's evident that something very sinister is happening with Kanye West. If you recall, his former personal trainer, Harley Pasternak, threatened to institutionalize him, and Kanye accused him of stalking him in another country, which was quite alarming. This just shows how desperate they were to control Kanye because he was speaking out too much. Now, Kanye's former chief of staff, Milo Yiannopoulos, who is a controversial figure, appears to be one of the few who genuinely care about Kanye's well-being. He's exposing the fact that Kanye's dentist, Thomas P. Conley, has been drugging him with nitrous oxide. This gas, commonly known as laughing gas, induces feelings of euphoria, relaxation, and calm. However, prolonged use can lead to nerve and brain damage, and it seems Kanye has been using it for quite some time. He even promoted it on his Instagram story and mentioned it in an interview with Paper back in 2015. While it's unclear if he was addicted back then, it's alleged that he is addicted now.
Ryan Garcia, this I'm on a nitrous.
And I was at the dentist's office the other day. I was taking a nitrous oxide. I suggested if anybody's stressed out.
Recently, Milo filed a complaint with the California Dental Board, signing an affidavit that details how unethical Thomas Conley has been in this situation. He claims that this dentist is charging Kanye over $50,000 a month to supply the gas, which he shared in a post. Ye, formerly known as Kanye, is no longer capable of successfully releasing music or clothing, and there's a reason behind it. In fact, there are several reasons, but the most serious and recent one involves his dentist, Thomas Conley. Conley allegedly got Ye hooked on nitrous oxide, commonly known as laughing gas. I believe Conley did this to impair Ye's mental faculties so that he and his associates could extract millions of dollars from him. Earlier this year, I discovered this fraud and intervened. Under the influence of nitrous, Ye deliberately sabotaged our relationship by proposing an idea he knew I would have to resign over: the resurrection of his long-time fantasy of making explicit content. I'm not sure why Kanye is pursuing this, but what's clear is that Thomas Conley is a dangerous predator. He specifically targets African-American celebrities, and in some cases, even implants fake diamonds in their mouths, as I suspect he did with Lottie. Conley must be stopped, and I filed a complaint with the California Dental Board last week to that end. In his actual complaint, he stated that Conley had moved into the same apartment complex as Kanye. He also alleged that someone witnessed Conley delivering 4 tanks of nitrous oxide to Kanye's home in a single day. Kanye allegedly used the gas alone, without any supervision from a doctor or healthcare provider, which is illegal. Milo detailed in his complaint, these are his words, not mine. It was around that time that one of the junior staff members confessed he had seen Conley hauling 4 large surgical tanks of nitrous oxide into Bianca Sensori's apartment building, and that something told him to take a couple of photographs. When challenged, Conley admitted he had taken the canisters to Ye's home, but absurdly claimed they were empty and had always been empty. The anonymous employee informed me over the phone that they had directly witnessed Ye self-administering the nitrous gas provided by Conley. Most disturbingly, I learned that Conley had moved into the same apartment building where Ye resided during this period. There can be no doubt that he was aware of Ye's psychological vulnerabilities and sought to exploit them. Payment records from Yeezy LLC show hundreds of thousands of dollars paid to Conley, just the ones I know about up until May. For example, on January 7th, $257,000 was marked for dental work, followed by another $61,000 for anesthesia. 2 weeks later, on January 29th, also marked for dental work, and these are just 2 of many payments. Conley may have caused irreparable harm to the mind of the world's most talented living musician, and arguably its most commercially successful living fashion designer. There is no medical justification for 4 surgical-sized canisters of nitrous gas being present at any patient's home, nor any explanation for Conley moving into the same building as Ye that isn't sinister in the extreme. The wrongdoing of men like Conley is a matter for federal law enforcement, not celebrity managers or dental boards. But I urge the California Dental Board to suspend this man's license immediately.
It was around that time that one of the junior staff confessed he had seen Connolly hauling 4 large surgical tanks of nitrous oxide into Bianca Sensori's apartment building, and that something had told him to take a couple of photographs. When challenged, Connolly admitted he had taken the canisters to Ye's home, but he insisted, absurdly, that they were empty and that they had always been empty. I was told over the telephone by a Yeezy employee who wishes to remain anonymous that they directly witnessed Ye self-administering the nitrous gas provided by Connolly. Most disturbingly of all, I learned that Connolly had moved into the apartment building Ye resided at during this period. There can be no doubt he was aware of Ye's psychological vulnerabilities. I believe he sought to exploit them. Payment records from Yeezy LLC show hundreds of thousands of dollars in payments to Connolly, and that's just the ones I know about up until May, such as $257,000 on January 7th, marked dental work, followed by another $61,000 for anesthesia 2 weeks later on January 29th, also marked dental work, and these are 2 of many payments. Connolly may have done irreparable harm to the mind of the world's most talented living musician and arguably its most commercially successful living fashion designer. There can be no medical justification for the presence of 4 surgical-sized canisters of nitrous gas at any patient's home. Nor can there be any explanation for Connolly moving into the same building as Ye that is not sinister in the extreme. The wrongdoing of men like Connolly is a subject for federal law enforcement and not for celebrity managers or dental boards. But I urge the California Dental Board to suspend this man's license immediately.
Much more was said in this affidavit, but these are the most disturbing details. It seems Kanye is completely unraveling, finally being exploited and taken advantage of. He's not handling his business well at all. Everyone in his circle is draining his pockets, and he's practically high on laughing gas, living in an entirely different reality. Kanye is in a dangerous situation where he could end up broke or dead, and it's heartbreaking to witness. I really hope there's some intervention soon, but this is a very bad situation, reminiscent of the tragic downfall of Michael Jackson. Anyway, let me know what you think about this video in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video to your family and friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.